Hello, fourth grade. This is our language time. Once again, this is Wednesday, the 29th of April, and I understand that we've discussed this during our Zoom session, but this is just if you needed to see a few more examples or to see the examples again, I want to give you that opportunity to get it deeper inside of you. And so let's get started. So we're on pages 167 and 168. And it is all review. So I'm just going to give you some examples and then let you start on your way. All right, so we're reviewing plurals and we're reviewing diagramming. So it says, Sherlock's Quick Clues, papers, P-A-P-E-R-S. I'm up at the top. Dishes, words that end in S-H, you put an E-S after them. So dish becomes dishes, D-I-S-H-E-S, and you can see the darkened letters there. So they stand out for you. Puppy, P-U-P-P-Y. If you have a consonant like a P and then a Y after it, you drop the Y and you add I-E-S. So puppy becomes puppies, P-U-P-P-I-E-S. Tray ends in a Y with a vowel before it, A-Y. You just add an S to the end. Reef, R-E-E-F. Words that end in F, you add an S or you drop the F. And, well, for the most part, I don't want to jump ahead there. I'm looking at knife. Knife, K-N-I-F-E. Words that end in F-E, basically you drop the F and the E and you write V-E-S. So knife becomes knives, K-N-I-V-E-S. Tomato ends in a consonant and an O. You add an E-S, T-O-M-A-T-O-E-S. Piano, musical words that end in an O, like solo or alto. Piano, you add an S. And patio, P-A-T-I-O-S. Once again, a word that ends in an O, you add an S. And sometimes, like tomato, you add an ES. So usually if it's a vowel before the O, it's going to be an S. If it's a consonant before the O, it's going to be an ES, usually, okay? So you can go back if you don't remember your plural. Let me find that page for you. You don't remember your plural rules, you go back and you can start looking on page 148 where you have all your plurals rules right here. Okay, and so like I said, they go over them with you on the top there that we just read through, and they give you some good examples. So that should be helpful to you. All right, so here's just the first three. We have cherry, we have dress, we have tornado, okay? And so we're going to make those plural. So we know that words that have a consonant, like an R and then a Y, we drop the Y and we add I-E-S. So C-H-E-R-R-I-E-S. Cherry becomes cherries. Once again, consonant Y, drop the Y, there's a consonant in front of it, and add I-E-S. We have dresses. Words that end in S, we add an E-S. So we have dress, and we want to make it dresses. It ends in an S, so we add an ES. So it becomes D-R-E-S-S-E-S. Okay? And then tornado, word that ends in D, right? And then I want to double check something. Yeah, that's what I thought. It has a consonant, doesn't end in a D, it has a consonant before the O. And words like potato, tomato, that we talked about, if you have a consonant is any other letter other than A, E, I, O, U, other than a vowel. A consonant and then followed by an O, you add an ES. So T-O-R-N-A-D-O-E-S. So here we had an ES, here we added an ES, and here we added an IES. Okay, once again, remember the rule. Consonant, end in a Y, drop the Y, add IES. Words that end in S, add an ES at the end. Words that have a consonant before the O, OES, unless they're musical words like alto, soprano, piano, cello, etc. Then you just add an S to those. Okay, so that's how you do section A. Think A. You're going to make plurals for the word pencil, for box, for calf, for diary, Number 8, chimney. Number 9, key. Number 10, cello. Number 11, donkey. Number 12, sheep. Number 13, waltz. Number 14, niece. So you're going to take all of those words and make them plural. All right? We'll talk about, don't worry about doing remember B right now. Don't worry about doing remember B. You can go back and, like I said, look on page, what was it, 148? I believe, yeah, 148, to look back at those rules if you need to, okay? Now, think C. It says underline the verb 2 times and the subject 1 time. Diagram the subjects and verbs on notebook paper, okay? So we're going to do that together during the Zoom session. But I want to, because I want to be able to give you the forms. So I'm going to first give you 2 examples of, we know how to find subjects and verbs. So we underline the subject twice. I'm sorry, the subject once and the verb twice. So we have Mark raked the leaves and cleaned the garage. Who or what raked the leaves and cleaned the garage? We have Mark, so underline Mark. And what did Mark do? He raked, underline twice, and he cleaned. So this is a simple subject, but a compound verb, raked and cleaned. So we know that this is the kind of diagram that we'll set up. Okay, singular subject, Mark. And what did Mark do? He raked, we do them in order, and he cleaned. Compound verb, and we put the connecting word in the triangle on the dotted line. Okay? So I'm going to, if you want to give, you know, we're going to talk about it during Zoom, but if you want to try to set up the diagrams on your own, if you remember the forms, go back and look at, we saw all the different examples on page 163 that we did together on Monday. So go back and check that out. If you want to try that on your own, and then when I show you the forms, you can see how you did. That'd be great. Number 2, the leaves were piled high in the front yard. Okay, my subject, who or what were piled high in the front yard? Leaves. And what were leaves? They were piled. Now, this is not a compound subject. There's not 2 actions. This is what you call a compound subject, a compound verb. This is what you call a verb phrase. You have your verb, your action verb piled, and you have your helping verb were. So this is what you call a verb phrase, all right? It's different than a compound verb. So when you diagram this, that's when you simply do this. You put your subject, leaves, and then your verb were piled, okay? So you're going to find the subjects and the verbs and then you're going to diagram them. Let's look quickly at number 7 so you could see a different example too. Let me find my pin here. It says, you and your friend will go next. So let's jump down to number 7 so you could see a compound subject. You and your friend, say will go next, will go next. Okay? So who or what will go next? You, underline once. Can you see that? Can y'all see that right there? You can't see that very well. Let's try that. There we go. You and your friend, your verb, will go. Now, once again, even though there are 2 words, that is not a compound verb. That is a verb phrase, okay? A helping verb and an action verb. You and your friend will go next. So I'm just going to diagram that right here. I have 2 subjects there, a compound subject. So that's the kind of form that I create. And I have my subjects, you, friend. I capitalize the word you because it's the first word in the sentence. Okay, I put my connecting word and in the triangle. So compound subject, you, friend, connecting word and my verbs are will, go. Once again, there's a difference between a verb phrase and a compound verb, like raked and cleaned, 2 actions. When you have a helping verb next to an action verb, that is a verb phrase. That is different, okay, than a compound verb, which is 2 actions: raked and cleaned, jumped and skipped, swam and rested, etc., ate and drank, etc. Okay? All right, so that's how you do page 167, some examples. And then on 168, you have, it says looking back, and this is basically, gosh, everything we've talked about pretty much since the beginning of the year. Okay, so I want you to do your best to find these. It's a little bit like a crossword puzzle, but it's just going across, not up and down, where they ask you for clues, and then they give you blanks to show how many letters are in each word. So it's kind of like a puzzle that you're figuring out. And then you try to find the word that fits that amount of letters that fits with that clue. Okay, so do the best you can. Some of them are a little more challenging than others, which makes it fun. And then I'm going to go over those with you, but I want you to give them a shot on your own. And we're going to talk about this during Zoom also. So look at number 1. The clue is the name for a word that names one thing. One thing. And I see that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do I know 8? Because I'm counting the dashes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the word is singular. One person, one place, one thought, one idea. Singular, one. Okay? Then number 2 says a word that takes the place of a noun. So yesterday, I think it was yesterday we talked about like Dan. There was a paragraph, Dan and Dr. Goforth, Dan, and we know a pronoun will take the place of a noun, so we're not saying the person's name over and over in our writing, but we can say he or his or him, all right? So it has 7 letters, and so find the grammatical term that means that, all right? Okay, so look at number 24. It's got 6 letters, and it says the name for a word that means more than one thing. We just talked about that, plural, right? More than one thing. Name that means one thing, singular. Name that means more than one thing, plural, P-L-U-R-A-L. So like I said, it's like a puzzle. Do everything you can, and then we'll talk about the ones that you need help with, all right? So like I said, we've done this during our Zoom session, but if you need to go back and listen to further instruction, then make use of our YouTube sessions on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.